Everyone, welcome to the regular meeting of the Select Board for January 28th, 2026. A few announcements from the chair. First and foremost, we'd like to thank DPW, police, and fire for their amazing work during the last few days and all this wonderful snow that we're enjoying. Also, the new town website. We do ask everyone to be patient. We know we're having issues with it. We're working with the vendor to fix that. In the meantime, please continue to check the Town Hall bulletin board for legal postings for the town of Lenox, meeting agendas, and other information as we continue to work through some of our issues on the website. The website alerts mailing lists were reset with the new website. We are working with the vendor to reload previously registered emails to restart notifications. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add? Oh yes, I did it again. CTSB is recording live, and Clarence Fanto is here from the Eagle. Is anyone else here recorded? Yes.
I'm with Berkshire's, we're not still.
Wonderful. All right.
And I have one announcement.
Yes.
We were supposed to have a housing visioning session last night for our housing production plan, but we needed to, I wish it wasn't last night, it was supposed to be Monday night. We will be rescheduling that. We had a very good turnout for our Saturday session at 10 o'clock at the community center. But we will be rescheduling the second session probably mid to late February. So keep an eye out. There you go.
Anyone else? Great. We're going to move along to Citizens Open Forum, where Lenox residents are welcome to address the board for up to 2 minutes. We do have another procedure update. Those who do wish to speak at Citizens Open Forum, we would ask you to sign in with Deanna here. And then when you're called, please state your name and address for the record into the microphone there so that those at home can know who you are.
Could I have one other thing?
Yes.
As a result from 2 weeks ago, not that there's any big issue, but when we're here, this is your time to bring up anything that might be further on the agenda. Sometimes people are confused. They want to talk about something once we're down into the agenda on it, and that's not an interactive phase of the meeting.
So with that said, is anyone here for Citizens Open Forum? No, then we'll move on to approval of minutes, which we're actually going to table until the next meeting, which will take us right into the consent agenda.
Okay, Mr. Chair. The consent agenda. First, we have a special license request for a one-day all alcoholic beverages liquor license submitted by Jacqueline Donovan for Sunday, February 8th, 2026 from 4:30 to 7 for a trivia night at Bedford Hall located at 104 Walker Street. Certified bartender will be present. We have another special license request for a one-day all alcoholic beverages liquor license submitted by Jacqueline Donovan for Saturday, February 14th, 2026 from 7 to 10 for a Valentine's, I'm assuming, party at Bedford Hall located at 104 Walker Street. We have a facility use request for the Lenox Library Association requests use of the auditorium from August 24th to September 1st, 2026 for the annual book sale fundraiser. And finally, we are going to be asked to ratify a town manager appointment of Rebecca Cushing-Gopp to the Lenox Community Center Board, filling the vacancy left by Prue.
Do you have anything you want to add to that? Second.
Oh, no.
Oh, first we have.
I would move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second. All in favor? Aye. That takes us to general business, where we are continuing the public hearing that was opened at the last meeting regarding the new annual on-premises all alcoholic restaurant license, Hoshan Provisions LLC, doing business as Indra. Sophia Crispinet, manager for premises located at 242 Pittsfield Road, Lenox. Wasn't it to read the whole? I think we did that last time, right? So that shouldn't need to be read?
No, it shouldn't need to be read. We're just opening the public hearing. Make a motion to open the public hearing. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Then we just need to make a motion to close it, or is anyone here to chat?
Is there somebody here to chat on it? Go ahead.
Oh, yes, great.
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Sophia Christinet. I'm the owner of Indra, 242 Pittsfield Road.
Excellent. Wonderful. I don't have any questions for you. I think it's. I've heard great
I
things.
don't have any questions. I know that this has been quite a process for you to
Yes,
get
we're sorry.
your license.
I know the number of abutters is the challenge, but
Yes, it's been
Just,
a long process at the post office. They don't
Yeah.
like to see my face there anymore.
Yeah, And just reading the paperwork and all, I know it sounds like you've already put a lot of hard work into it. And you and your partner are a team in there, you live next door. And,
That's right.
You know, looks like a great business. I wish you, personally, I wish you the best of luck.
We're always happy to hear from new people ready to open business here in Lenox.
So good.
Yeah.
I've been over with.
Max and I will probably be your first customers.
Yes.
Once we have some alcohol in there?
Yeah, I was over there without alcohol last year,
Okay, there
and
you
the
go.
food is outstanding, and the atmosphere is quite bustling, and you guys have a great setup, and it's nice to have a new offering here in the town of Lenox. So
Thank
we wish
you.
a lot of luck.
Mhm.
That's so nice. Thank you so much.
My neighbors had the same experience.
Okay, good.
So-
That's good to
So
know.
far, so good.
Always nice to hear. Nice.
Wonderful, then I guess we can,
Now I'm going to move to close the public hearing.
all in favor?
Aye.
Next,
Thank you.
I'll move to approve the petition of Passion Provisions LLC doing business as Indra Sophia Kristina, did I say that correctly? Manager for a new annual on-premises all-alcoholic restaurant license for premises located at 242 Pittsfield Lennox Road as presented and described in their application dated December 19th, 2025.
All in favor?
Aye. Good luck to you.
Yes, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
All right, so next we have a public hearing for fiscal year 26 regional CDBG application, including housing rehabilitation, serving residents of Lenox and Sandusfield.
Next, we have
Do we need
to,
to open the public meeting? Yes, we do.
yes.
I'll move to open a public hearing. We get that motion over.
I move to open the public hearing for the FY26 Regional CDBG Grant for housing rehab.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
I believe we have
Yes.
Cassie's Wade Marshall
Yes.
to talk about it.
Hi there, how are you tonight?
Well, thank you. How are you?
Great to be here. So we are here tonight to talk about next year's application for the Community Development Block Grant, which Lennox has been participating in for a few years now. This will be your second year as lead community. We were third year, sorry. We're closing one, starting a new one, and applying for the next one. That's the issue with CDBG is you're always got 3 going. So this will be your third year. We're about to start your second year, which was recently funded. The Lieutenant Governor, as you know, came out to Great Barrington, which was wonderful. We love when the state comes out to Western Mass. And so the first year of the program is just winding down. Don Lemon here from Berkshire Community Development runs the housing rehab program, and it's been a great success so far. There have been 11 units that we've assisted in Lenox and Lee. 8 were in Lenox and 3 were in Lee. This coming year, what was recently funded and is just getting started will be Lenox and Sandusfield. We did a bit of a shift because of changing need scores numbers that the state issues. So I know there's pre-apps for Sandusfield, but we do expect, because it's first come, first serve, Lenox is bigger, we've got a bit of a head start, that there will be the majority in Lenox. I think there are 73 pre-applications from Lenox residents in the pile right now. In your packet, I sent along some of the first reviews we've gotten of the program from recipients, and they've been glowing. That's largely in part to Dawn. She does a wonderful job. It's a really difficult job of sticking to regulations, making sure contractors move forward, and making sure that residents are happy. So it's a great program. We love to see the before and afters, and the happy residents that get to stay in their home, which is safer, tighter, more energy efficient. So the reason I'm here tonight is to talk about the next application, which is due in a few months from now. The towns of Lenox and Sandusfield, if you apply together, have the opportunity to apply for $1.25 million, which we estimate would do approximately 13 units. It depends on how much is spent per unit. We can spend up to $70,000 per home. And that's a 15-year, 0% deferred forgivable loan, meaning that if you stay in your home, you don't pay it back. And with each year that passes, 1/15 of your loan is forgiven. If you do happen to move and sell your home, the remaining loan comes back to the town of Lenox, which can be put towards programs like this. So it's really a win-win in that sense. The program prioritizes health and safety, including lead abatement and other health and safety issues, septic repair and replacement, roofs, windows, insulation, siding. We kind of work from the most demanding things in. And so we're looking to apply for the next round. Because the wait list is so long, we think we could keep applying year on year. That's the goal, for as long as there's a need in Lenox. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have about the program.
I think we've been very happy with it, and I really appreciate the feedback part of it, that the people who had work done, the thank you notes, if you will. That was really touching.
Good, yeah, it's always nice to see.
And it's great, we get quarterly reports from Dawn at the Affordable Housing Trust. Those are, looked at by everybody on the trust. We're really happy with the professionalism and the kindness that Dawn runs the program, working with the homeowners. The contractors really respect her, and she's able to get the work done and really manage it and report on it quite well. And we're very happy with the services that we're getting.
Great, Dawn is the gold standard in the state, so we're all very lucky to work with Dawn.
So I agree with everybody. It's a wonderful program. I love to see, I think it's a good way to keep people in homes, and it just gets the work done. I like to see work done. I just have a question about the calendar, the timeline of it. Somebody asked me like a month ago, when is it awarded, or how's it? Is it a calendar year, or?
It would be so nice if the answer was simple, but it's not. It depends largely on the state and the federal budgets. So we're going to be applying for federal fiscal year 26, but of course, by the time that comes through, we'll be well into 27 and beyond. Right now, the town was recently awarded their FY25, and that is in startup. So applications will be accepted for that from homeowners this winter. It takes some time to clear the startup requirements with the state, and so we're going through that right now. For the FY26, which we're talking about applying for, those are due very early spring, and they will be funded late summer, starting up late fall, roughly, applications in late fall.
So in year 25, somebody had applied last summer.
Yep.
When do they get notified, or not?
They'll get notified. So right now, the town has procured myself as the grant administrator, and we're currently out to bid for the sub-grantee, which is the role Dawn currently has. Once that procurement is complete and she's got a signed contract with you folks, she's off to the races. And if I know Dawn, that's the day after she signs the contract, if not the afternoon.
Because I do have somebody that asked me a while
Yeah.
back where they stand and everything. I just said I didn't know, so
Yeah,
I can
folks-
tell them to just hang in there. It's not,
Yeah.
fiscal year 25 is still,
Hasn't
it hasn't been awarded.
Exactly.
Okay.
One of the tough things about this program is that, we're gonna do 13 or 14 units this year maybe, and there's 73 Lenox residents on the wait list. It's something we're very cognizant about when we spread the word, is that we want everyone to know, but we wanna manage expectations. Emergencies do jump to the top of the list. If your roof is officially failed, you jump, and likewise with things like that. So we do have some space for emergencies.
If you don't make it this year, you can apply next year.
Yep, exactly.
Great.
But you can send in a pre-application at any time.
Yep, and it puts you on the wait list, so you're notified when it's time.
Time to,
Apply, send in the full application. The
Oh,
full
okay.
Oh, so
application-
it's like a placeholder for your.
Yeah, you're basically
spot
joining our
on.
mailing list essentially. Because the full application is, income qualification, proof of your deed, your homeowners, it's lengthy.
Yeah.
And Dawn holds your hand through the process, but we don't want everyone to send that information in now, knowing that we might not be able to get to you until a year from now, in which case we'll need all new stuff.
well, I'm sure there's a lot of red tape, and it's frustrating for you guys, but keep up the good work, in my opinion.
It's worth it. It's a wonderful, wonderful program. We love it. So we're so thrilled to be at Lenox.
They-
Great.
I will move to approve.
We're gonna close the public hearing first, I think.
I'll close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I'll move to, where's, it's to submit the application.
Yes.
Okay. I'll move to submit a fiscal year 2026 regional CDBG grant for housing rehabilitation, and authorize the town manager or designee to sign the grant application and associated forms.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wonderful.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. It's
Thank
great to
you.
see you.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see everyone, thank you.
Thank you. And last, we have the discussion regarding potential amendment to section 6-1 and schedule 3 of the town of Lenox traffic rules and regulations, traffic pattern change from Church Street, Franklin Street, which I believe we have our esteemed colleague here to chat about perhaps.
As Bill gets spun up, I'll just give everybody a quick context as to why we're talking about this, particularly if you're watching at home. We had a lot of chatter over the past year about purchasing 2 parcels in the downtown core, and the presumption was that the town wanted to at least use one of them in order to allow for protection of the parking that we have on the dirt lot. The dirt lot has been privately owned. It was due to the graciousness of the Schultz family that allowed the town to use it as essentially a municipal parking lot over the years. But as with all things, that came to an end. The town had the opportunity to buy both. Essentially, it was $1 million, give or take, for 2 parcels, and we had a lot of community debate about it. The parcels inevitably got sold to another private party. So at this point, the town is out of that business looking at those parcels, as we all know. But the conversation that it started last year was essentially, what can we do to at least protect and replicate the same number of spots that we have in the dirt lot without buying property, taking it off the tax rolls, and do so in a cost-effective manner. So as usual, we turn to our famous DPW superintendent. Are you famous, Bill?
No.
I can't, no.
You're good.
Our well-thinking, critical thinking DPW superintendent, Eamon Coughlin in the land use department. And they thought this through. There's other ideas out there, but this is the first one that we wanted to present to everybody. So tonight, we're pitching it. We want to be sure we have the endorsement of the board. If the board all feels that, let's go, let's continue to do this, the next procedural step is to set this for another meeting. We'll have a public hearing, no different than any other time when we adjust traffic regs. And then from there, if it passes that night, DPW would go out in the spring and we would effectuate the change. So tonight is just, we're pitching the concept, we're putting it out there and get some feedback. So with that, I'll turn it over to Bill.
Can I interject one additional thing? Don't forget that we also did a traffic study, a parking needs study that was during this entire process that led up to us basically not recommending to buy.
Has anybody had a chance, you guys have all looked at it? Any
Yeah.
questions that come up?
I'm curious, are the pink hash marks and the black hash marks, are they both
Yeah, so
gonna
black,
provide parking?
thank you, Jen. Oh, you're welcome, sir. The black is existing,
Okay. And the
pink
is
would be
proposed.
additional, proposed.
Okay, so I'm a little concerned about the parking on both sides of the street there on the lower street. It says 12 feet, between.
Travel lane.
Yeah, traveling between some of those, and I'm just thinking, like today, we've got piles of snow on either
Yeah.
side of the road. You're trying to parallel park. Maybe it's not really 12 feet, maybe it's a 10-foot spread that now we have.
Yeah.
Is that gonna be, I'm concerned about fire vehicles and the sense of putting parking on both sides of the street, given the winters that we have here.
Yeah, it's definitely a concern of ours, DPW, with the snow. With snowbanks, cars get pushed out, it just gets a little bit more. The only nice thing about these two areas, it's really easy to keep this curb line cleaner. So we would have to be more vigilant, making sure that the windrows between the curb and the sidewalk and the road are cleaned quicker, more effective. If, again, conceptual, so we can change it, we can do anything. The idea here was to get an idea of what would happen if we did, how many parking spots we would get additionally if we did. And then we can just see what issues we have, and if we don't like it, we could always scrap it. If we wanted to tweak it, and maybe in the winter months, it's no parking this side. Yes. And it just turns Yeah. into a wider travel lane.
Or just take the parking, eliminate parking on one side, clean it up, and then, be more, as you say, more diligent about that part. But I think the point is also that, correct me if I'm wrong, Billy, but Housatonic Street is the same width as this is gonna be, so that puts it into something you can see, it's gonna be like Housatonic Street.
Right.
Which is fine,
Yeah.
it works great. Yeah,
Right.
it's a snowstorm,
That's
it's a
true.
different story, but it's gonna be, exactly the same.
So the one way on Housatonic Street is about an average of 14 if you, on the clean day, which is no snowbanks or anything. So as you see here, some of these will be a little bit tighter, but then if you do the travel lanes at the top part of Church Street up here, your travel lanes are only 10 feet
Right.
there. So it's a little tighter. There is no parking on both sides, but it's a narrower road too. So it's tight in town, no matter how we deal with it.
Honestly, I don't think we really need it for the winter. That's not the concern. The
Mhm.
concern is the summertime. And I think that this is a good initial attempt to provide more parking.
So, again, we could easily say, winter ban parking, no parking on this side.
Right.
I don't anticipate an issue down in front of Yao. I think that would be, because the curb lines are pretty clean there, so
Yeah.
that shouldn't be a problem either.
I understand your concerns. There's a couple of ancillary things I think might help. One, we put out the parking ban notices ahead of storms. You know, I don't know if we want to up the enforcement of that or not, because everyone, you see a pretty darn clean street, then one car buried, which messes up the plowing. And then the other thing is, in this, not just there, but pretty much everywhere, like in front of Kenny's, for example, with the cafe across the street, people just pull up, park in the street, let someone out, and then sit there on their phone, so the traffic lane's killed up anyway. So I would be in favor if we, I mean, the new chief's got to get his feet under him, but I wouldn't mind during the summer months or even the winter months, a little beat walking around this area to say, hey, you're double parked, you can't park there, please. A little something.
We agreed as a result of the study that Neil mentioned, we agreed on the staff side to look at this from a universal concept. What else, what, are we doing everything we possibly can to get the most out of our existing parking situation? So this is one aspect of it. That's another, what Chief Smith may want to do. The Berkshire Bank lot, at no point during the peak parking times last summer was that lot ever at 100% capacity. So that tells us that people don't know it's there, or they're making an effective choice not to. Why would that be? Is it better signage? Do we have to put better crosswalks? You know, what is that? And then there's been some conversations with Berkshire Bank, or soon to be Beacon Bank, of there's additional spaces back there that have been reserved for them that they're willing to transfer over to the town. So we just started that conversation. We have to, I don't know what's gonna come of it, but we're grateful that everyone's looking at this and helping us. And we've already had a preliminary conversation with the chamber about during peak times, when we know we wanna have our parking spaces open for our guests, maybe the employees of our local businesses should just not park there at that time. When there's no parking demand, it's not an issue. But when there is demand for parking, these people that come to Lenox and contribute to our economy, we have to take that into consideration. So there's been a lot of things that we've talked about. This is the first step. And I would also add that the way that Bill and I would like to do this is really a 2-year pilot, so we can test these concepts, particularly during the winter. We hadn't really thought through that, so that was some great feedback. And if it doesn't work, if it's not a problem, we can go back.
We're not changing anything, like structurally. Curb lines are all staying the same. The layout is all the same. The only thing that would change is painted lines. So if in 2 years you didn't like it, it's an easy fix. We just get rid of it and go back. Some of the other issues we've seen in town is delivery trucks parking in the middle of the road, basically. So with this, we kind of have some spots that we thought might be helpful. No parking here,
Frankly.
and no parking up there. That might be zones that we can mark as loading or unloading zones.
You know, the Cisco trucks is out there every week, every day.
Yeah, and they like to be there Friday about 2 o'clock.
You know, another area, Jay, we talked about is using the parking lot in back of the bank. But the dirt parking lot, for lack of a better word, it's long-term parking for people that live in that area. And we can't have those people park on Church Street. You know, we have to educate them somehow that they have to be over and back of the bank.
Right.
Because really that parking lot, we all drive by there every day. There's 15 cars in there, they're there every single day and every
Right.
single night. So that has to be figured in there some way.
Yeah, we might need to do a very small permitting process so that they're able to park back there, police department knows they're able to park back there, and then that's where they go.
Yeah.
It's gonna be somewhat, I think, of a combination of information, communication program, and a little bit of enforcement at the same time.
Well, I think it's great that we know this is a pilot, we're trying it out. It's adaptable to a lot of different things, and we're prepared to do that in the next couple of years. So it's great, good job.
Yeah, 26 additional spaces would be added by this, so it's quite a bit.
And
But
depending on the math, sorry, Bill, because I know Clarence is gonna ask me this question. The dirt lot at 41 Housatonic Street, at best, 20 cars. If that lot were to be grade raised, paved, and Mass DOT stalls and with the proper width, maybe 15, 16, give or take. So this program, even if we were to remove a few due to experience, operational experience, we're doing what our goal was, which is just replace what we're gonna lose by that dirt lot going back into the private sector.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, I think that's a valid point. Keep in mind, too, you might have said this, we don't know, but the private owner, the new private owner of the dirt lot might make something that becomes a tax-paying entity there, which is a benefit to the town. And then, I know that we're talking about parking, that's the subject here, but to me, in some ways, I feel this is a better way to navigate through town, given all the log jams that we get with, even in the best of weather, people are driving right down the middle, and then you can't get by the Cisco truck, and then people are honking.
yeah, so just to be clear, if you're coming up, the upper part of Housatonic will stay two ways. It'll only be from the intersection of Housatonic down the hill, which is north. So if you pull in through Housatonic, nothing will change. You can still take a right or you can still take a left. If you pull in off of Walker Street, nothing will change. You can still pull in Walker Street. You can go straight down the road or you can take a right down Housatonic. The only major change will be off of Main Street coming onto Franklin, or if you're leaving Tucker Street, you won't be able to come up Church. You'll have to take a right and go out. Franklin. Yeah. You could use Zorbed if you had to. If you were trying to get to Housatonic Street, you could use Zorbed. And this can all, it's just conceptual, so, I mean, down here might be a little tight, we can move a space over, shorten it up. Other thing we were talking about, maybe certain spots for motorcycles, or like certain compact cars.
Do we have any, like, bike parking areas in that, like, down there by Firefly? Like, just a bike rack kind of a thing? Because I don't remember that we have any.
We really don't have any land there,
Right.
but, I mean, we'll look at all that.
There's a bike rack at the corner on the
There is
south
one
side.
right here.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
The same bikes
Sitting
sitting
in
here.
here forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say there's been one bike on this
It's rusted, he's rusted to death.
It's important to think about that. We have a couple of guys that are on their bikes every day, but
But I think Billy said the motorcycle thing, I think you could probably fit some spots in, where it's too small for 3 parking places, but too big for 2. Use the rest of that for motorcycles. Because they could end up screwing up a whole parking space if they wanted to.
you
Yeah.
So Jay, when we were using the dirt parking lot, were we charging real estate taxes to the owner?
Yes. Yep, they still paid their real estate taxes, and the cost to the town was just the insurance rider that we had with them. So if something happened, it was town insurance.
Okay.
And I can tell you that the new owner, as of now, reached out, and we've transferred the insurance certificate into the new owner's name. So there's no immediate change, but we want to be proactive because it's entirely possible that they'll decide to build or do something on that.
Well, I certainly share a lot of the same concerns, having driven down there yesterday, knowing that if I pulled over on the left-hand side of Franklin Street, I couldn't open my car door. Nobody has bench seats anymore, so you can slide across. The other aspect, as I share with Eddie, is concern about the people who live in the apartments adjacent to the dirt parking lot, just moving their cars off and parking on Housatonic and Franklin. And that doesn't get us any gain at all. So it's an enforcement issue that we need to address.
Who isn't?
So
During that long, ever-changing process, didn't we get told at one point they weren't gonna continue to rent anymore in that building?
Hold on.
Not that I remember.
The hotel, the old hotel, the hotel?
51,
51.
Oh, 51, yes. 51 was done, they're out, I don't think there's anybody there now.
But who owns the cars that are in there?
I think that's the
Across the street.
Brick Hotel. I'm not a native, that's what I was told it was called.
Oh, it was Mahana Hotel when we were kids. wasn't it?
You were a kid. It may have been the one that, referred to that.
Happens to be a little tiger horse outside.
Well, I mean, this is really, the cost is negligible. I mean, it's painting, striping, signage, but the follow-on things such as enforcement and in being proactive and informative will be important, so that'll be staff cost. But, I mean, this is, to me, something that certainly we should go to the next step.
I agree.
Maybe we can get a couple of high school students with those flipping arrows and they can, like, what?
Well, I had a really good conversation with Chief O'Brien about it, and I share a lot of his concerns, but most of the reason why he couldn't get anybody to do it is just simply the timber of having the conversation of discussing with somebody. You've exceeded your, whether it's in Algonquin, Maine, Lenox, Mass, or San Diego, California, it's going to be the same conversation. But as Bill and I, noted driving around last summer as all this came to heat, there's deliveries that need to be managed. Sometimes you just got to go up and tap on the window and say, let's go. There's nobody doing that. And, I can't say that we're not busy enough to put an officer there, but it's Chief Smith will have to have a conversation and think it through. But there's probably ways to be more cost effective than a full-time trained police officer at their rate of pay doing that. And, we do have a cadre of traffic control officers that, we look at, what that hourly rate may be and what that training's required, just the high visibility presence of somebody to communicate that way. If I've seen you drive around the block 2 or 3 times now. We do have a parking lot just over here, and maybe some affirmative direction. And, there's passive ways to mark vehicles with, chalk to say, oh, they've been here, 3 hours. Doesn't mean we're gonna write a ticket, it just means that maybe we need to communicate a little bit more. So there's definitely, I think, a little bit more proactiveness that we can do to assist this, that will just ease whatever pain people, feel. But at the end of the day, that study never showed that we are at full 100% capacity even in peak times. So knowing that, we have to make the cost-benefit analysis, say how much do we want to invest in this for what level of impact we have. But I think the human component might have to have that conversation with Chief Smith.
Well, we'll never get ahead of it, because I remember last time we had some enforcement, especially for the 3-hour thing, so employees would park their cars, and let's say that Deanna and I were friends, we'd just go out 3 hours and swap parking places, and it didn't work out the way we had hoped.
It was the business community that was, I think, most supportive of the concept of buying the property. Our residents, our year-round residents, were the ones that were a little bit more skeptical about it. So if that's the case, then their business community should help us, be able to manage that better. And the preliminary conversation we had at the chamber was very positive. But as Bill and I have chatted, and we haven't brought Chief Smith into it yet, how do you enforce that? How do you, at the end of the day, that's the key, is how do you enforce it, to what extent? But I think, at least at the first step, a level of, I know that Deanna wants to put more information up on our webpage about it. The chamber wants to link to that. So if you're coming to Lenox and you're on the chamber page to figure out what to do, where to stay in Lenox, also that parking information is there. And maybe those static lots can start to absorb more people.
I'm certainly in favor for some of that. Just making some observations.
And,
Yeah.
a pilot program will
Good one.
tell us.
No.
Good job, Bill.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
You haven't got enough to do, right?
He hasn't slept much the last 3 days. Poor guy needs to go home. Ran into him yesterday, and I said, you headed home and you went to a ballet or something, right?
He's skating.
Skating, yes, skating one, yeah.
Ballet was today.
Okay. Like I said, not much sleep. Anyway, anything?
No, anything.
All right, I'm gonna move to schedule a public hearing on amending the town's traffic regulations to create one-way traffic flow on Church Street and at Housatonic Street to Franklin Street and from Franklin Street at Church Street to Main Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Our next regular meeting will be February 11th. And with that, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.